What's up with that?
What's up? What's up? What's up with that? It's the return, y'all. What's up with that live? Truth, not tradition.
What's up with that?
Before we get out of here this evening, I wanted to leave you all with something that's been near and dear on my heart lately, and I won't take long doing this. I'm only gonna take a few minutes, but I want to help us all understand the way that we're not just being played right now, but the way that we've been being played, and the way that we're constantly going to be played. And a lot of it is done through semantics. And semantics is basically wordplay, where people play with words and stuff, saying one thing, but actually, or possibly meaning something else. And in this instance, this has been played on us, and it's been played on us worldwide, not even nationwide, or not even just citywide. We've been played worldwide. And it's a word that since I believe about March, February 2020, that's been the focus word and the key word through 90% of the conversations concerning healthcare or anything to do with our health recently, and that's the word pandemic. Pandemic. We like to call it the plandemic. But as far as the word pandemic, I want us to take just a brief second. This won't take but a minute, and let's break this word down because it's actually a combination of two different words. The first word being pan. Pan means all. And then the next word is demos, and demos is the people. So when you put that together, it means all the people. So think about what the connotation of that actually is. If we apply it to what's going on, the COVID or Corona pandemic, the monkeypox pandemic, the whatever pandemic that's been going on. The purpose of this is to include all of the people. So what I want to do is break this down, and we're going to take it down, and we're going to primarily focus on the pan part, because I want you all to understand that that meaning and the orientation of that word. Pan. Pan was a mischievous god, spending most of his time just running through the woods acting crazy. And it's the thing that he liked to do the most was to chase nymphs or nympho. Y'all get where I'm going with this. His erotic nature was shown by the way that the lower half of his body appeared goat-like, suggesting that he acted solely on his primitive instincts. So we have a thing that's going on now, and we said it earlier in the show, and we're going to continue to say it. And I want you all to get used to hearing this from us, because if you aren't already, you're going to have to, because we aren't going to stop saying it. But Ecclesiastes tells us that there's nothing new under the sun. Now, remember, we're talking about a god, a mischievous god, Pan, whose lower half of his body was goat-like, which resembled the primitive and erotic nature that he carried. And yet, remember, the top half of Pan was the two little horns, and he played the little flute and all of that. And right now in our society, that image of that God is being promoted heavily through the Satanic Temple with the who they call the Baphomet now. There are actually several statues of the Baphomet that have been erected in several states throughout the U.S. And I believe it was Oklahoma or Arkansas. I can't remember right. And I'm sorry about that right offhand, which state it was erected in first. But there's a huge statue of the Baphomet or Pan that's erected there. And it has the lap open, and on one side it has a little girl with her hand on his knee, and the other side has a little boy with his hand on his knee. And they said that they want to leave the statue open in case someone wants to sit on his lap and get comfort or consultation, or just sit there and meditate and pray for a while with this being. The other thing about Pan, though, was Pan was a messenger. And his message was he loved to spread both the concept of fear, not fear itself, but the concept of fear. And then the concept of attraction, sexual attraction. And he wanted to do this contagiously so that it not just affected his area where he was, but it infected the entire world. And despite that crazy, frightful appearance that he had, Pan had a persuasive and even a real seductive quality about him. And its seduction came in the form of its musical pipes, or music again, seductive music. Get this, which caused spontaneous and irrational behavior in people. So Pan was both repulsive and attractive, representing two conflicting elements that ruled primitive life: fear and temptation. For this reason, Pan can be considered a much earlier representation of the other deceptive horn gods, Baphomet, Satan, etc. Why is this interesting when discussing what's going on in the world right now? Well, we actually talked about it a little bit at the beginning when we talked about the pandemic that's going on. And again, this word is it's tied in with another word, pandemonium, that first appeared in 1667. The word comes from two Greek words again, pan, which means all, and then this is the other part that I wanted you all to catch, dominion, which means the inferior gods. So all the inferior gods. Another word, panic, refers to being struck with a sudden and contagious form of fear. Creating panic was often cited as an early method for man to herd animals or force stampedes. The word derives again from this Greek god, Pan, a shepherd who caused great panic among woodland travelers. Again, the prefix pan is also the Greek term for all, signifying such words as pan-America or pantheism, all America, or all doctrine. The god Pan became known as one of the many personifications of nature and human nature, which is why his myth relates to the prefix all. I told you I wasn't going to be too long with this, so I want to skip down some of this that I had because I want to show you something. I'm going to tie this in by telling you this. In the long run, what all of this ultimately implies is that the natural world is an evil place or far too chaotic to be considered any good. In human nature, chaos is found everywhere, from the unconscious mind to the waking mind and the unrest of emotion. It culminates inevitably by spreading out into nature like a contagious disease. Greek mythology thus shows its perspective of life on earth and the influence it has on the Christian viewpoint of Satan and original sin, all of which can be uncovered by a simple yet chaotic three-letter prefix, Pan. One of the things that I wanted to push on you as far as this brief, very brief and surface level lesson was that I don't want you to just hear a word and repeat it. I don't want you to just learn that word. I don't want you to just learn the definition of the word. I want you to learn all of that, but then learn the etymology or the origin of these words. Learn where the words come from and what they actually mean. Because think about this. If we would have known that Pan is the god of eroticism and fear, and that demic is from the word demos, and that means the people. Pandemic means all of the people are going to be beat upon and hit upon with this eroticism and fear. Why do you think they have you in that state? Why do you think that they have you so horny, Planned Parenthood? Why do you think that they have you so fearful so they can control you? Why do they need everybody under this same spell? Why? Do what I just asked you to do. Do some homework. Learn the origin of these words, and we look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you. We love you, and we out of here. What's up with that? Truth?
Yeah.
Not tradition.
Turn up. Vessel. Team Maranatha. Y'all. We here. Get used to us. Jesus Christ is my life. Get used to hearing that, man. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. Excuse my swagger, but this is more than spiritual. Similar to mystical, these lyrics written miracles. Forever young, the family. Maranatha critical, you don't understand, cause your comprehension's minimal, so misunderstood, but the team so official. Take the time and build how you live, young as mirrors, bro. Our maps is getting twisted. You focus on political, focus on what's typical. Our agenda's biblical, like you live